Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Today we are going to talk of the infinity, the constant, and we have been talking of Ganit Vidya, the divine mathematics as designed by nature. But who discovered infinity for the first time as a constant is something which could recognize, conceive, and reveal to the world as one thing never done before. You are going to see as we proceed. So, concentrating on Ganit Vidya, the divine design with which the nature had designed the mathematics of throughout the universe, has to be understood to understand infinity itself. Now, whenever I am in doubt, since my childhood, I always look up to cosmos. There has been no second thing other than cosmos or universe. Why do? I just say uniform, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, perfect divine design of nature upstairs, and also everything designed in nature from atom, element, molecules to compounds to earth to all these things, including plants, human beings. I see a perfection in everything. And that's why I call the divine nature which is created is my first design. I've been trying to look at the mathematical design of nature since my childhood. Maybe the two statement in this particular thing is Aham Brahmasmi. I believe I'm just like divine nature. Me and nature are one. There is an indwelling soul within me. Me having a dialogue with that, I've learned about myself, and also with the higher divine. That is what I've been talking about. The second series of my thing, which is Mahagranth by itself. Tat Tvamasi is another statement which has made me there is a everything is constant, and there should be a divine constant at the same time, and that's it. Now, as I told you, Pindant, this is a human body. Brahman, the universe, is one. And you can see in my reflection 10 chakras, 10 heavenly bodies, and 10 suns in spiral galaxy. That shows all the three places it is identical. Now, as I told you, Tattvamasi is something is not I am like God. It makes no sense to me. Tat means the divine nature. I have taken the Tat from Tat Savitur Varanium, which is a Gayatri mantra in Rigved itself. It starts with Tat, then Savitur, then Varanium, the light is one. Similarly, Tat is the divine nature. Tvam is every object of the universe created by nature from top to the bottom, right up to atomic level. You can say hydrogen and helium itself. I just see the same beautiful prescription or description or design everywhere. And that is what I can, if this is everything is designed identical with a mathematical decision, there is no differences. And let me tell you, I'm talking about the perfect being. I'm not talking of diseased objects. But the universe is perfect, that's why it remains same. Human beings or animals, others may have defect. I'm not talking of that. We'll find only the perfect one. So since everything is perfect, then there should be a design, and that is the divine design which I'm talking about, seeking since my childhood. And I'm glad in 2015 I found that as a Divyank, and that has given me all the answers to show the kind of divine mathematics should have been done from the very beginning. Now, we started as a Fibonacci sequence. I have shown that in Fibonacci sequence there is one particular mathematical design which appears is 1.618, which is called golden ratio. You can see in this picture very clearly. Then second thing, I have gone on to the second one. Golden ratio is 1.61, but unfortunately there are two views which come. One shows 1.618. Another mathematical design is 1.6180339887. That infinite number of digits. And many of the mathematicians are finding more and more numbers and calling them an infinity. Infinity divine numbers we think does not mean infinity at all. That is something which I want to correct again. I'm going to talk about it as we, but both being so different numbers, they cannot be applied in science, they cannot be applied in life, so both are defective. So what is the perfect one, which I have gone on to show, and we are going to see more and more details and see its application in every structure of the universe itself. Now there comes to question of Divyank rectangle was the something to find out what is the ratio of the length and breadth of the structure which we see in spiral galaxy and other places in the entire universe, including Fibonacci sequence. And the ideal length and breadth I have found in this particular thing, which is equivalent to 100 multiplied by 161.8034. This is the perfect everything else, and I've shown how Pythagorean theorem, which was originally designed by Indians, then I used it based on ancient Indian scripts and found that it's much easier to do than anything other. And I think that is very essential point to move on to divine mathematics without any difficulty at all. Now, and that particular presentation of a Divyank rectangle I have shown. I have 100 into 100, 1 square I have taken, divided into 2, 50 into 100 plus 50 into 100, then created another hypothesis, a triangle I created within the rectangle, and that is a plus b is equivalent to a square plus b square is equivalent to c square is something which Pythagorean is talking about. That is something which I spoke in my book Akhand. Behold Pythagoras, there is much more in that than Pythagorean spoken about it. But based on Pythagorean theory, people have not been able to find the perfect design of golden ratio itself, which is supposed to be divine proportion, used everywhere. But nobody has revealed the most approximate decimal digital, which is perfect and complete, is very, very unfortunate. But I have shown this first. First step is to find the length and breadth. In this you can see the length is 100 into 161.80, and that is very, very simple. From there I have taken it to the cycle, and I said there are 10 stages of inverse in Divyank itself. It's the second stage which scientists have done, but they have not given something which should have been given. And we are going to see how make a rectangle which is Divyank with some mathematical design which I call infinity, using the infinity design out of the thing which I made as Divyank, and I can call it even Divyank rectangle. But I prefer to call it infinity because everybody is talking about infinity, and there was a movie called Man Who Knew Infinity. I do not want to name anyone or anything, but no one has spoken for infinity constant till date. They were not perfect. We are going to see that as we move on. Now I am going to 10 stages of Divyank rectangle are infinite numbers as such. The first I have tried a square of 100 into 100, like what I did in the beginning. Then I created a semicircle from right bottom circle. You can see it very clear is the first step. Draw a semicircle of 100 units as shown in the square of 100 into 100 units is the first step in making. I will make it. Unless that you do work with your own hands, you cannot understand the divine nature at all. The second step is make another square keeping 61.8034, and this particular number 61.80 is taken from Divyank rectangle itself, because 100 into 161, the difference of between first square and the second square is 100 plus 6180 is out of that, is not something else. So we have taken 100, then second one is that step. So draw another square of 61.80 and draw a semicircle of 61.8 unit as shown, and I make it very clear 61.8034 is the infinity constant. There is a Divyank infinity constant. Let's hit it. The next one 61.8034, I have divided by again 61.8034. We are dividing everything by 61.8034 only, not anything else, because that's the number I have to prove it is a divine nature inverse sequence which world should know as infinity. As a number, we come to another square of 38.1966 units. Very simple calculation on a calculator. Then draw a semicircle of another 1966 as shown in the picture. Very clear, simple design. Then go to the fourth stage, divide by another 61.8034%. You got to the number of 23.6068 and make a semicircle of the same thing is the fourth step. Then we go to the next step, to the fifth step. That number is divided by again 61.8034 and the number you get is 14.5898. And semicircle of the same thing is drawn, as you can see in the picture, very clearly. Then come to the sixth step. Divided the number by again 61.8034 only, not any other number, and you get a 9.0170 and there the semicircle you can see in the picture very clearly. Then come to the seventh structure. You say brought it by another 61.8034. You get the number 5.5728, and then same number as a semicircle you can put it in that as a seventh step. Then eighth step is further division by 61.8034. You get a square of 3.4442 units and same semicircle as put in this particular picture very clearly. Then come to the ninth step. It divided by 61.8034 again and you get a number of 2.2186 units, and then semicircular same thing is the ninth step. Then 10th step is to take further division by 61.8034. Please remember, I am dividing only by 61.8034 and that is the infinity divine constant which I am trying to show and show how beautiful the divine nature is, and you come to 1.3156. Very good. Then draw a semicircle of the same number and come to this particular, this is the 10th step. You have come to very close to 1. We started from 100 divided by 61.80. In 10th step we have come to 1 close to 1 little plus. That means there are 10 stages of inverse plus there is something more, but there is not complete 11th is something which I am going to show you the next one. When come to the stage 11 of the rectangle, it is less than 1. That means 11 is not complete. So real divine design is 10 plus only. Less than 1, this is the last stage of maturation, and conclusion, only 10 reducing stage involutions are possible. More than that is, this to prove it, inverse divine constant is 61.8034 only. Once this particular concept is understood clearly, only then we can go on to the next thing to find how divine designed the nature of mathematics as such. You are going to see in next coming videos. It is step by step enlightening, educating, empowering the mind to think logically, rationally, without any difficulty at all. I think that is come to very clear. Now same thing I am presenting in another graphic presentation right on top. You can read this once again. Please draw a square of 100 into 100 as shown in the first one. Then divide of the same thing by 61.8. Whatever I have spoken is represented here too. So you have come to the particular place and this stage. Now in this I have written compare. There is a hidden divine constant of 61.8034 because I have used that only, nothing other than that. I am just showing how divine nature has a perfect mathematical design, not something which is not perfect. I think that is what makes divine mathematics concrete, specific and otherwise. Now to come to question inverse infinity. Now two things I'm going to show what infinity. What is infinity in inverse? That means we started from 100 divided by 61.8034, you can see 100, 61.2. That next number is 38.196, which I have shown it earlier, then 23.6068, then 14.5898, then 9.0170, 5.5728, 3.442, then 2.216, and then 1.3156. Within this 10, you have come to as close to 1. 100 to 1 in 10 stages by division of 618034 only. There are 10 stages, that's it. 11th is not possible. So as a result, you can say 6180 is the divine constant which has to be remembered and represented. Now I'm going to take you to general infinity constant as such. Now, as far as inverse is concerned, start from 100 to 1 is 10 stages. But when you start from 100 and go on expanding, and it has no place where they can merge, converge, or diverge, I'm going to say 100 plus 61.80. That is the rectangle triangle which I spoke about. In that 100, then added 61.80, made it to 161. Then you multiply further again, same thing, by 61.8034. Now I'm coming very clearly. Everything is first was reduced by 61.8034. Now it is multiplied by 61.34. You come to 2.618034. Then next you go up to 423 plus 6068. Then you got to 685.4102. Then you go further, 1109.0170. Next is 1794.4272. Then you go to 29,003 plus 4442. Then you go further, 4697.8714. You go further, multiplied by 61.8034, you get 7601.3156. Then you multiply another 61.8034, you get 12,299.1870. You go further, 19,900.5026. Go further, multiplied by another 61.8034, 32.199, 30,199.6898. Then go further, you get another 52,100.1922. Now you see, as you are going further multiplying, this process can continue. But in this particular process, you will not see anywhere converge, diverge, or merge at any stage. Whereas the one which in Ramanujan case was called man who knew infinity, when he talked of the digital numbers, unfortunately, it could be correct up to 100 times or 200 times. Beyond that, mathematical design would fail miserably. And I don't want to show as such, but I know as you go further multiplications, finally you come to the stage of minus 1 by 12. And once you come to 112, but it is only up to 100 and 200, not more than that. If things go on changing, as I have told you in pi, 3.14285 is perfect, or 7. 1 divided by 7 is equivalent to 0.142857 only. That is the precise mathematics with which nature works, does not have erratic nature at all. Similarly, we come to the stage of Brahmank. You are going to show it is 22 by 7 divided by 130 is 22 by 21, is very specific. And then 10th stage of development is Dasank or Vishnu Avatar. Then we are going to Shiv Ank as a 0.344 after 10, and that would show divine mathematics as design. In this particular picture you have shown pentagon right at that, and that is the design, and that's why it is not. And it can go on without any merging, converging, diverging at any stage. And once that is understood, we know what is divine, infinite number or constant. So I think now it's very clear 61.8034 is the infinity constant of nature, not anything else spoken by anyone till date. And this was the result of Divyank, which was recognized, conceived and revealed in 2015 for the first time in the history of mankind. I think we have to accept the modern educational system, modern equipments and modern softwares to do things 1,000 times better than earlier. But having come to this stage, I think we should see that we bring the precision in education from school, college, university throughout the world as a uniform education for everything, which is not available today. Objective of my video is only to bring that uniformity in educational system for each and every child throughout the world. Every student from school, college, university, PhD to author, there should be uniformity now because it is possible. These modern scientists, mathematicians, equipments have done wonderful job, but unfortunately I don't see the perfection in mathematics. It's a man-made concept. Same thing is applied in physics, same thing in chemistry, same thing in medical. As a result, all that is defect. Now we need to rectify that and give the world an impeccable wisdom which no one can deny. And from that, infinity constant is 61.0. This is essence of this particular thing, and I think that should make a difference. Now same picture is present in this. I am not going to talk about it. I think it's done enough to show step by step how we can eliminate all the defects and come to the perfect wisdom as we need to represent. I think this has been something I feel privileged that my inner soul, Aditi, divine soul, Gayatri, the Mahagravya Adi Prashakti and higher souls all have shown me the knowledge of from hydrogen to all the atoms to element to molecules, compounds to all I have experienced within my body is almost identical what I see outside. That is the education which is systematically perfect, and that is what everybody needs. No child should be underprivileged. It is not the world of rich or influential or powerful. This world of intelligent people who can come from a poor background like me from a village, economically poor, illiterate otherwise, but with the mind of truth, honesty, vegetarianism at the perfection to the core, not even one thing which can make defect in my sensory, motor or intelligent at all. Being a perfect human being, everyone can do it. And I think having done that in the past of 70 odd years, I think the world needs to move on with the perfection, and that is objective. Thank you very much.